From Koreatown, Los Angeles, thank you for tuning in to Ktown Social Club. We bring together all viewpoints from every angle to talk about the issues that you really care about. Don't forget to leave a comment, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and smash that notification bell. Check the description box below to follow our social media and get our podcast information. I'm Michael Kim, joined today by Ed Choi and Doug Kim. Thanks for tuning in and being part of Ktown Social Club. Now, today, we're having Hank Yu come on, possibly. But before we get into that, we're also going to talk about Syria, and we're going to talk about United Healthcare. And before we get right into that, let me just show you something funny that Trump did. Apparently, Trump has a new cologne. He says, here are my new Trump... Actually. Wait, I don't know if this is really his Trump Daily...
doesn't he usually post on Twitter now?
Yeah, so this is for real, like women's perfume, men's cologne.
Or does he mostly post on Truth Social still? I guess he's still trying.
I guess he's back on Twitter because of Elon, maybe. But man, I mean, it's not as much as Tom Ford, but it's more than Calvin Klein. But yeah, some of these are already sold out. Some of them have a bust of him. I don't know what it smells like. Maybe taco salads. I don't know. But the funny thing is...
I bet it smells just like Old Spice.
Old Spice.
Maybe, yeah. And that's a good smell. I call them Fight, Fight, Fight because they represent us winning. Great Christmas gifts for the family. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And then here's the picture they use. Was that Joe Biden? A fragrance your enemies can't resist.
You know who probably pitched them this idea? It was probably like Logan Paul. You know, because like he does all this fucking... branding shitty fucking products with his name.
Logan Paul?
Logan Paul.
Oh, Logan Paul.
Are they even allowed to be doing that?
What?
Making merch? Essentially?
President?
Yeah.
Hey, if they can,
I think
if they can assault and do things, presidents can do whatever they want.
I thought there was like a law where they like weren't allowed to
make money off the presidency.
I thought that was like literally a law.
I mean, I guess like if they're saying it's going for campaign financing, then who's going to do anything about that, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he was still running his businesses during the last time, right? He still had Trump Enterprise or whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Besides, he can always pardon himself.
I mean, it's not like the businesses were.
I mean, like Nancy Pelosi is obviously, fucking insider trading, but like nothing's going on there.
So anyway, big news, Syria, the Syrian government that was led by the Assad family since 1970 has fallen after 54 years. In 1970, Hafez Assad took control of Syria. I don't know the conditions under how it happened, but I believe he was like an Air Force pilot or something. And he led the country until he died in the year 2000. Now, his oldest son was supposed to take over, but his oldest son died in a car accident in the mid-90s. At the time, Bashar al-Assad, who was the president of Syria, he was in London working as an ophthalmologist, and that's where he met his wife, Asma, who was working in investment banking. She is also Syrian. She's also Muslim, but she is a Sunni Muslim, whereas Bashar al-Assad was an Alawite, which is a sect under Shia Islam. Yet, he married Asma Assad, and eventually she joined him in Syria, and he moved back after his brother died. And after his father died in the year 2000, Bashar took over. He was 34 or 35 at the time. And the conflict broke in 2011, as you may recall, the Arab Spring. I think it may have started in Tunisia, but...
So that was 11 years into his role?
11 years into his role, yeah. And the Arab Spring, I think it started in Tunisia. That's what I recall from 2011, but I don't know, history's kind of changed a bit. But we saw, what was his name, Mubarak of Egypt. Egypt, he had to step down. We also saw that same year Gaddafi was murdered and Libya fell. But that same year is also the year the conflict in Syria began. And, they say it was a civil war. I don't necessarily agree with that when you have fighters coming in from all over the globe, over 100,000 fighters.
Especially from Turkey.
And financed and supported by foreign nations such as the U.S. or even Israel, Turkey, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and other countries. But Things look pretty bad. In 2013, it seemed like Obama or the U.S. under the Obama administration was about to strike Syria because Syria supposedly had used chemical weapons, which was a red line for the U.S., which Assad said at the time, why would we use chemical weapons, if we know that this is what it would lead to? Why would we use them now when we're in an advancing position and not when we're in a more difficult position? And wouldn't it make more sense that the rebels themselves used it, or as he called them, terrorists?
Yeah, asymmetric. Yeah, you want to use something that's asymmetric when you have the disadvantage.
Right. And at that time, Putin or Russia kind of brokered a deal, said, hey, okay, Syria, you give up your chemical weapons, and USA, you don't attack, which they agreed to. And then just a few months after that, in 2014, the U.S. did actually start bombing Syria. And in 2015, Syria formally asked the Russian government, hey, help us out. And because ISIS had also taken up, ISIS was also, that's when ISIS started to really emerge and people became aware of ISIS. And Assad said, I need help fighting against ISIS. And Russia joined. And, he said, it's interesting when the Americans were we didn't ask America to help us fight terrorism. But why is it when America was bombing ISIS, how come they're advancing? But it wasn't until Russia joined the fight that ISIS started losing. But that was going on, and then Trump became president in January 2017. He also bombed Syria in April that year, which I attended a protest for in downtown LA because I thought, this motherfucking anti-deep state guy, look what he does. He's fucking bombed Syria.
4 months in, yeah.
And the crazy thing is I was there and I saw this fucking guy with a Hillary Clinton hat saying, I'm with her. And he's saying, I fucking hate Donald Trump, but I have to say, this is the one time that I have to give him props. He did the right thing here. And I'm like,
oh my God.
You effing moron.
There was another moron who said something similar to me. Like he was a liberal, she was a liberal too. And she said, when he took out Soleimani, he was like, actually, I like that. It's like, that's what we do or something. And it was like
a liberal woman. A liberal woman.
Yeah.
So she's saying assassination of foreign leaders is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how, I'm not going to complete that thought. But anyway, it started to appear, at least I remember even talking about it on this program a few months ago, saying that it seems like Syria has won, it's stabilized and everything. But man, things can change so fast because I think it just took a couple of weeks. Like, what is the new group called? HTS or something?
There was barely any fighting.
Barely any fighting. From what I understand, the U.S. was in control of the oil fields and I don't know what else, and sanctions and everything. The Syrian government couldn't pay their people, their soldiers properly. Their generals were making, I think, or soldiers or whatever, let's say $40 a month, whereas the rebels or terrorists or whatever, they were getting like $2,000 a month. And Assad himself, I guess, decided he didn't want to, he was like, fuck this. And a few days ago, I think, was it Saturday or so? He left and...
he's in Russia now.
Supposedly he's in Russia.
I saw a picture. He's in Russia.
It looked like his plane crashed initially.
I saw a picture of him in Russia.
Later it came out that Russian state media said that him and his family have arrived in Russia and they're in exile. And I don't know how it came out so fast, but they're saying, Bashar is going to go back to ophthalmology and become a doctor again. I don't know how he... Anyway, if so, then, that's fine. I heard him saying...
Part of his 10-year plan, I guess.
Yeah, I did hear him say in an interview about 10 years ago, saying that, even though he doesn't do the doctor work anymore, he still keeps up to date, reading trade journals and, keeping up with the latest
medical review
developments. And perhaps his wife can go back into investment banking. And
it's been his 10-year plan this whole time.
What, but in Russia, though? Because I don't think they're going to be welcomed in London anytime soon.
Well, maybe she can be work in some kind of finance position in Russia.
Yeah, or like get some strings pulled to get her certification so she can do whatever in Russia.
Yeah, they'll be fine, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it was kind of a, and I'm not going into Assad's, whatever mistakes or his flaws and everything. CNN recently showed his garage. It was full of, all these cars, including Ferraris and things. Personally, I don't think Assad himself drives those. I think maybe those were his son or like his I know his older brother who died was into that stuff because it looked like a Ferrari F50, which was made in '95. So maybe that was one of his brother's cars back then. But because Assad used to drive himself to work every day, he drove like an Audi A4, and he didn't have bodyguards. Syria was very safe. It used to be one of the safest countries on earth until the conflict happened. So Assad would literally drive himself to work at the presidential palace every day without bodyguards. He'd go to the restaurants in the area. People see him around. And he didn't even live in a big palace. He lived in a building, like in a house where it's like right next to the neighbor's house. Like you could literally just see into their window.
So if he was that brutal of a dictator, how was he not taken out?
Right, exactly. But suddenly in 2011, things were put in motion, and I don't know. But for me, I see this as a sad thing because Assad was, he was one of those independent leaders that wouldn't bow down to Western powers, and he was still a supporter of, Palestine, and he had friendly relations with Iran. He was also close with Gaddafi. He wanted to have good relations with everyone, but he wasn't going to sacrifice or fuck with his principles to do that. And so to me, when I see Syria has fallen in the hands of a guy who is essentially, I think the group is called HTS now, but he was the leader of al-Nusra, which is an al-Qaeda group. We have al-Qaeda, who attacked 9/11, who is now being hailed as a hero. And
now the U.S. and U.K. are saying, "Oh, we're going to designate them not terrorists anymore."
Yeah, now these terrorists, now they get a makeover. It's insane, and so
it's the Rebel Alliance.
And then what has happened since? Israel has bombed Syria over 100 times. They've taken more land, and to me, I see this. I saw Syria as one of the few countries as part of this axis of resistance. The global south, whatever.
Have you ever seen this?
I've seen that probably, yeah. They can't see it, but...
No.
So to me, seeing Syria fall means that it's going to be that much harder for the rest of the oppressed world or the colonized world...
Well, especially Palestine.
...to rise up against, the forces of evil.
Israel.
Whatever you want to say, but, and... I see that.
Because Israel... literally took all that territory in minutes after that happened. It's just ridiculous. It's like they were ready and prepared to take territory, which is what happened in 1967, right?
Yeah, I mean they already had control. They were already occupying the Golan Heights, Syrian Golan Heights, and now they've even expanded further. I don't know what the fuck Turkey was doing here. Why Erdogan is doing this? What deal? I don't know what's in his mind.
There's deals. Yeah, there's definitely deals being made in terms of
I heard
people being bought out and people being selling out.
Yeah,
Sure.
And Danny Haifong, who's an independent reporter guy, he had an interview with Professor Marandi, the Iranian guy who owned that Sky News guy a few months back. He said that Iran would have fought, and I guess the Yemenis would have fought too, but I guess Assad didn't want to do that for whatever reason, and I think he just said, I don't know, in my mind, maybe after nearly 14 years of war, he's like, let me just get out.
I'm an ophthalmologist. I didn't sign up for this shit.
He did say a long time ago, he's like, as long as I have the public support, I'm here, but, if I don't have Syrian support, then I shouldn't be here. I should leave. And maybe he felt it was time, and... He also did warn that, Syria is a melting pot of cultures and religions because it's not just the Sunni Muslims. You have Shia Muslims, you have the Alawite, very minority sect there. You have Christians, other groups. They were all living in Syria in relative peace. Now that you have al-Qaeda taking over, what's going to happen to the Christians? What's going to happen to the Shias? What's going to happen to the Alawites? What's going to happen to all the non-Sunni Muslims in that region? And we've already seen on Twitter these crazy fuckers even beheaded a little boy. And he even said that. He's like, please just shoot me in the head. I'm not going to show the video. He said, please just shoot me in the head. And they said, no, fuck that. And they fucking cut his head off. And they've been going on killing. These guys are crazy. And, and here in this country, and in the West, we're celebrating this as like some great freedom thing. And, you know, and I saw on Reddit, in the Syria subreddit, these FSA, Free Syria Army, the new flag, these people, they're saying, oh, God, Assad, yeah, thank God he's gone. And I used to post in there, they kicked me out because I said, well, if Assad is gone, what do you think is going to happen next? And guess what's happening next with Israel and all this? Now they're like, oh, God, can you believe this? Can you believe this is happening? Like, didn't you fucking learn from Libya? Didn't you learn from Iraq?
No, they're idiots.
Like, how fucking people fucking warned you, and now you're surprised that this is happening.
It's just libtards.
Anyway, so, yeah, you know, I really do wish the best for Syria and all the people there and all the religious minorities and people there. I hope they don't get fucked up too badly by the fucking terrorists that were supported by this country, by Israel and NATO and fucking Turkey and Qatar and whoever the fuck else. I think that's all I have to say about that. Anything? No?
I mean, I would just say that, like, you know, I told you this earlier, but, you know, I would just say that, like, never, you know, obviously this was a setback for, I guess, you know, the anti-imperialists, but, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. I posted a quote from Vowen Gap recently. He was the Vietnam War. Yeah. He led the Vietnamese in the first Indochina War against the French, and then the second Indochina against the Americans, and the third Indochina War against the Chinese. So he kind of knows what he's talking about, I think, and he was just kind of saying, like, you know, we didn't win this by one big victory. We were patient, and we had thousands of very small victories, and that's what you need. You need patience, and you need to be able to, like, weather the storm for, you know, as long as you have your eventual goal in sight. So I would just say, like, you know, it is kind of a depressing time, but never despair. I think we're seeing other sorts of things around the world. Last episode we just covered the South Korean election stuff that's going on, or the craziness that's going on there, where, you know, people are not happy about right wing ideologies either. So we're seeing wins there too.
Chad also just kicked out the rest of their the French military, so they're ending their colonialism.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah,
which is weird timing because the French prime minister also just got booted.
They're probably planned it, like, the opportunities. Yeah. Wow, that's
good time.
Yeah. So yeah.
So there are wins, but
there are wins. So yes, it was a huge loss, especially for the people of Palestine. But I think, you know, I mean, what can you do but keep pushing, keep fighting, I guess.
Right. All right, and to the axis of resistance, it's not over yet. You know, there's still countries out there, and you know, Syria was a small but a very important piece of that resistance, but it's not over. And you know, I do believe the forces of good will eventually prevail, and eventually we all will live in a very peaceful, harmonious world. Although it won't be in our lifetimes, but you know, let's work towards building that world for future generations, as past generations have worked towards.
I guess when humankind is wiped out, it will be pretty peaceful.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's it for Syria. Let's move on to United Healthcare. Let's show this here.
When was that again?
I think it was Tuesday. It was like the day after we recorded.
We were
the actual assassination.
Big story.
Yeah.
It was either that day. Yeah. I think
it was like in the morning, right?
Day.
Yeah. It was like 12 hours after we recorded.
Yeah.
So it was 6 days ago yesterday.
Yeah, CEO Brian Thompson shot and killed at site of United Healthcare Business Conference in New York. I think he's from Maple Grove, Minnesota, so he was in New York on a business trip. You guys have all seen the video, right?
God, that guy's eyes, though, just like searing into my soul.
Yeah, I saw the video, and my first thought was, like, this was a contract kill. Something, you know, that was my first thought, because, like, it looked way too professional, looked way too calm. It wasn't just kind of like a, you know, passionate.
Right.
I'm pretty sure contract killings in the United States happen more incognito, though, don't they? Like, it's not just
this might have been
broad
like
day guns.
This might be like, since he is high profile, like, where are you going to get him that doesn't have cameras, right? Like, so this is probably like the optimal scenario for
I thought
that.
people mostly got poisoned nowadays. No.
That's probably easier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
A little bit of what's that called? The
You just need to
Ricin?
inject a bottle
Yeah.
at that
I
meeting.
think you need.
well, not ricin, but that's the Breaking Bad.
I mean,
one.
it could be many things. You could kill people with many things.
No, what's that? Okay,
Cyanide?
cyanide. Yeah, I remember seeing it on the dark web. You could buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, how are you gonna? I mean, it's so complicated to deliver that effectively.
No, I
target's gonna be
mean,
taken. I mean, if you want to make sure a guy is taken out.
Yeah, but like instead of shooting someone, you could easily walk up to him while he's entering the building and inject him with cyanide. Like that's so much less. Boom! You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then people would be like, "Yo," he'd be like, "What the fuck did you do, bro?" And then like,
By the time he collapsed, he'd be halfway down the block.
but the same thing. The cameras will still get him.
No, 100%.
So-
I'm just saying, like it causes less disturbance.
Oh no, David, it's okay. You can block the camera. It's fine.
Right, which is why I thought it was like a professional
Thanks.
thing because
Wow.
it seemed like it was a suppressed weapon as well. Didn't seem like it was like a like
Yeah, no, he had a suppressor.
right. So then
But I'm just saying, it's still like
that
less.
adds to like me thinking it was professional. Okay, you're cutting your nails.
No, I'm not. So,
Everyone heard it.
I was just testing how well it clips.
How clicky it was.
Yeah. So anyway, he died. I saw the video. He was strutting. Did you see how he was strutting?
No.
Really?
Like-
I thought he was just trying to get away as quickly as possible.
No, like before the shot, he just looked like he was on top of the world. Like he was very confident. Like I'm on my way to the big meeting, and then the guy just like.
Oh, you mean the CEO?
The CEO? Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I don't really pay attention to that. It's yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, normally when a person gets killed in this country, who's just walking to work, it's considered a tragedy.
Yeah.
For some reason, United Healthcare CEO's murder, there weren't so many thoughts and prayers as you normally see when someone gets killed.
Why would there be?
So, here's some comments that we've been seeing online. I'm sorry, prior authorization is required for thoughts and prayers. Sending prior authorization, denied claims, collections, and prayers to his family. Was his trip to the ER really emergent? According to his own company, my husband's heart attack wasn't actually an emergency, and we were out $3,000 full deductible. It's crazy what my first thought was, and then I look at the comments and I realize I'm not alone in my thoughts. I just can't find people don't know how to fucking write anymore. Okay. All right. So anyway, it seems like
That random comments on.
United Healthcare actually uniting people. So United Healthcare Group on their Facebook said, "We are deeply saddened and shocked at the passing of our dear friend and colleague." Blah blah
All
blah.
those laugh emojis.
Most of the reactions, about 80% of them, were laughing at what happened. Less than 10%.
That reminds me of the Joker scene when he's like, "You're laughing," when what's his face?
Heath
Al
Ledger.
Pacino. Not Al Pacino. The other guy, Robert De Niro. Sorry, my brain's.
Oh,
foggy.
you're laughing? Oh, and
yeah.
You think this is funny?
It's like yeah.
And you're tired of pretending what?
Well, I mean, I'm saying that the Joker is.
Oh, I thought you were going to do the Joker
Everyone's
thing.
a Joker.
Okay.
Oh.
So, yeah, everyone's the Joker now. Everyone's laughing at this. I didn't laugh. I just cracked a smirk. Like,
I was just kind of like, I mean, this is just the modern day Marie Antoinette, Louis XVI, right?
Worse.
all I know is let them eat cake. I don't
Yeah,
know
so
what you're
Marie
talking about.
Antoinette said, "Let them eat cake" or whatever during the French Revolution.
I don't think she actually even said that.
Yeah, it might have been a fake quote,
Yeah,
but
it
like
was a fake
the
quote.
point was that she
Yeah.
was that.
It was a sentiment, yeah.
Yeah, and they both had their heads chopped off, and no one in France cried about that.
Yeah, so,
I mean, of all the healthcare systems in the United States, United Healthcare is possibly the worst.
yeah, let
by
me
far,
let me
too.
show you another thing about United Healthcare.
I don't think a lot of people know this. United Healthcare isn't just an insurance company.
Oh, what do they do?
They also, so they're an insurance company. They also bought out something called, I forget what it's called, but it's like called Process. And basically what it does is it's the go-between middleman between the provider, so the doctors or the hospitals, and the insurance. They bought out that company. So, and then during the pandemic, a lot. No, not during the pandemic. At the beginning of this year, that process server went down. And almost a year later, it still has not gone up, which meant that over the last year, insurance has not been able to pay out doctors, hospitals, and a lot of other primary care areas. So basically, what did United do? They bought out doctors and hospitals over a system of theirs that went down.
Wait, when did they bought out doctors?
So because when doctors don't, like, a lot of people think doctors are swimming in it. They're swimming in it because they get money from insurance. But if the system to process the claims are down and are not working, doctors can't get paid, which meant that doctors and hospitals were not getting income for almost a year, and they were having to close down. So United Healthcare, with their hundreds of billions of dollars that they make a year, went to these hospitals and doctors and they bought out their practices in hospitals. So now United Healthcare monopolizes all of healthcare. They own the providers, they own the insurance company, and they own the middleman that processes all of it. They own everything from soup to nuts.
So if I'm hearing this correctly, what they did was they wouldn't pay the people, and the people would go out of business, and then they would take over after they've gone out of business.
Or before they went out of business, they would offer to buy them out.
So they were able to get stuff.
So they
cheap.
knew because
the Rockefeller of.
So basically, these doctors and hospitals would call United and be like, "Hey, is the process server back up? Because it got hacked. Is it back up? Because we're not getting paid." So the United Healthcare knew who was going under. So then they would be like, okay, cool. We offer you a solution. We'll buy out your practice for $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are these doctors going to do? Are they going to go under and lose their house and their families? Or they're going to be like, fine, buy out my practice for $1 million.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And let's look at United Healthcare's claim denial rates by insurance company. Kaiser Permanente is 7%.
I have Kaiser.
With the which one do I have? I think I have Blue Shield, 17%. The industry average is 16%. But United Healthcare is the worst here at double the industry average at 32%. So 1 out of 3 were denied. So if you have Kaiser or UHC, you are 4 or 5 times more likely to get your claim denied. So I can only imagine how many people.
That number actually has gone up. Because in the last year, Brian Thompson specifically was the person who authorized AI to come in. They fired all of their claim specialists, and he implemented AI, and the AI was so flawed that it denied 90% of all senior claims. That motherfucker killed countless people's parents and grandparents.
Wait, was this during COVID too?
I don't know. I think the AI part was like within the last year or two.
Okay.
So I don't know if it like overlaps somewhere between then. But they're saying that I think close to 90% of preventable deaths are through United Healthcare. There's 68,000 deaths in America. That's one death every 7.5 minutes of someone whose death could have been prevented that was denied by insurance.
So Brian Thompson was heading one of the most
biggest
mass murdering organizations
through his direct policies. Yep.
So Brian Thompson and United Healthcare are mass murderers.
But the worst part of it is United Healthcare is also the largest provider for governmental fucking insurance. They provide the majority of Medi-Cal, Medicare, and Obamacare. Not to mention, all of NYPD is through United Healthcare. There are a lot of government subsidies. United Healthcare has over 130 subsidies under its brand.
Wow.
130 companies they own under United Healthcare.
130 subsidiaries under their brand. And Brian Thompson is not the one at the top.
He has a boss.
Even he's a subsidiary of whatever, right? Yeah, that's crazy. So, let's see. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. I think that's the reason why a lot of people were celebrating this, because these may have been people who have been directly impacted as a result of Brian Thompson's policies or United Healthcare's policies, where maybe they lost a loved one, or not only lost a loved one, but went into massive debt, which, with money problems can come other kinds of problems, such as domestic violence or, alcoholism or
I watched this
divorce.
video of this like Iranian woman. She's like in her 20s, and she's like, my mom was an immigrant, came from Iran, worked at Wendy's, worked her way up, got denied by United Healthcare, and then now in the last like year or two had to move to Iran to get more accessible healthcare for her cancer in the middle of what's happening in Iran right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's why, last episode I remarked about the Vietnam thing.
Yep.
It's ironic that Vietnam War vets find healthcare in America
Who,
so
by
bad.
the way, are usually tend to be very racist towards Vietnamese
and
people.
Killed them, too.
Are now going to Vietnam to save their own fucking lives.
Yeah.
Irony is fucking wild.
Yeah. Anyway,
Fuck Brian Thompson.
The other thing,
Frankie
too, is that,
fucking
I saw some charts saying that, we pay on average $1,000 a month on healthcare. Like, the average American spends $1,000 a month on hair, I think, or maybe a year. I don't know what the exact number was, but then developed countries like in the Western Europe, they spend like $200 or something per person. Or
So
something. We spend 5 times as much as for the same care.
2023, United Healthcare made $371.6 billion. 22.4 billion of that was pure profits. There was no reason why
Wait, how much for
68,000
profits?
Yeah,
22.4 billion was in profits.
Jesus.
There is absolutely no fucking reason why 68,000 people had to die. They could have all lived and they still would have made over $1 billion. That's fucking ridiculous.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
And I hate to say it, but at 68,000 a year, it's only a matter of time before it's one of us or someone we know and love.
Oh,
It will affect all of us.
yeah. Okay.
Like, this affects all of us.
Once my parents are senior age or whatever, home age, I'm sending them back to Korea against whatever, even against their will. I'm like, no, you're not going to home here. You're going to home.
Right. Yeah. So I think, I don't know, maybe this will put some fear in the other CEOs of these health organizations or maybe even Wall Street CEOs might get targeted. There may be copycats. I see, and what's his name? Luigi, apparently.
Yeah, Luigi Mangione.
Yeah, and they're saying
there's a
he's
lot
a
of,
total Chad and good-looking guy or whatever, and
I don't know. There's a lot of
maybe other people want to be like a hero.
There's so many different pictures.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but the moment that he was arrested, it was said that he was on his laptop at the McDonald's.
Yeah.
He was live. He was about to go live on YouTube. I don't know if you guys saw this. I have the video of it. Basically, if you went on right before he got arrested, there is this video where it's just a countdown. This is on his YouTube page where he says, if you see this, I'm already under arrest. The truth is happening is going live in like an hour, it said, after his arrest. YouTube took his account down within minutes of his arrest.
Okay.
So whatever video that he was about to have go live never was shown to the
Okay, I will say that I did see that on Twitter earlier, and one person did point out that that particular YouTube page had only. Anyway, I don't know if Anyway, we'll need to validate that. Yeah.
It's kind of dumb to put it on YouTube.
Okay,
but that's gonna get censored so quick.
What's dumb to at least not cross-pollinate everywhere, just in case.
All right. Yeah, but anyway, I'm sorry.
Right? Yeah, just use all one of them. It's gonna get through.
I'm sorry, but we gotta cut this real short so we can get that dude on. So we'll be right back. All right, and we are back with Ktown Social Club. Joining us, me, Michael Kim, Douglas Kim, and Ed Choi. Joining us all the way from Seoul, Korea, is you may know Johnny Somali. It's Johnny Somali's buddy in Korea. Hank Yu, welcome to the program, Hank.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, so what's going on with you? Where are you going?
I'm going to the gym right now, early in the morning.
Oh, yeah?
Wait, what time is it there?
It's like
Yes,
9
sir.
a.m., right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what can you bench press?
I maxed out at 100 kilograms, which is like 220 pounds.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's
But,
pretty good.
Yeah, but I don't max out much anymore. I do like which weight I can comfortably bench for like 8 reps without assistance. So for that, it'd be like 60 kilograms to 70 kilograms around there.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. You know, you sent me a text. You know, you sent me an email because when we first covered the Johnny Somali thing, when he got his ass beat or whatever in Korea, you were there too. And, you know, we talked about how you kind of got pulled to the ground and some girl was stepping on your face and all this stuff is going on. Like, you said you wanted to clear something up. Like, what is the misconception people have?
Well, a lot of people think it's a 1v1, and that guy took me out like fair and square just because that dude took me down to the ground. But in 1v1, I would have pulverized him. Simple. You know, like, basically, yes, he took me down to the ground because I was imbalanced due to holding a baton, but I actually reversed and bridged, reversed, tripped out, and got a back control. That's when those are two, that fatty and the bowl cut kneeled on my legs, and his girlfriend like stomped on my head and my neck. So
but you know, it's
41.
Yeah, but you know, it was never a 1v1. I think you were just getting jumped because of your support of Johnny Somali and all that. You feel like you shouldn't have been jumped then. You should have just had a one-on-one fight.
No, because I know better not to, I know better than to expect fair fight from a street fight, because that's why, like, I don't like street fighting, you know? If they want to fight me, they can fight me 1v1 at the gym, you know? Because anything can happen in
You're right.
street
Okay.
fight.
So what?
This guy can't have a knife. This guy can have a gun, you know?
Yeah. So why are you friends with Johnny Somali? What draws you to him?
If you're trying to avoid street fights, I think being friends with Johnny Somali in Korea is probably not a good idea.
Yeah. Korea has a really bad self-defense law. The reason why I'm friends with Johnny Somali is I don't agree with everything what he does, but I do support his freedom of speech. And
what do you agree with? What do you agree with that he does?
I agree with pissing off Korean Xers. For sure. Generation X, yes.
Why? What did Generation X do?
Generation X is the worst in Korea.
Yeah, explain it. Well, why are they the worst? What do they do?
So, do you know the Generation X attitude? Like, how dare you disagree with me?
Okay.
I mean, I think that's just the general
boomers
Korean
too,
attitude,
right?
Boomers too, but boomers, I believe, they have their own reason because Korea was actually poor then.
Yeah, but Johnny was not just going after Generation X. He was mostly targeting like Gen Z Koreans on the street and like harassing them, no? And boomers too.
I thought
Gen Z actually loved
pretty sure
Johnny.
zero Gen Xers were comfort women too, so confused on that.
I know, but Gen Z actually loved Johnny. Trust me.
You mean like 90% of Gen Z love Johnny, or?
Okay, so that boomer that was in the convenience store in the 7-Eleven that was getting harassed by Johnny, that woman deserved to be harassed like that
and have stuff
like
thrown
ramen,
around.
the ramen.
No,
What does freedom of
actually
speech have to do
disagree
with
with.
action?
Okay.
That I actually disagree with.
So you have a line then. You have a line. So what did you tell to Johnny when that happened?
I told him why did you do that? That's actually illegal. You can get a criminal trespass warning for that. I mean, and he did.
So then, if that woman if that Ajuma was a Gen X Ajuma, you'd be totally fine with that?
They were boomers. Actually.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is if that Ajuma at the 7-Eleven or whatever was a Gen X Ajuma.
20 years younger.
Yeah. It would be okay?
Absolutely not. I mean, like, I I am for pissing Xers off.
Okay, so what is
within legal boundaries?
So what does Johnny Somali do that pisses Generation X off?
Yeah, what's one example,
give me an
something that he
example.
did that you really like?
You know, Kunde culture?
Yeah, Konde, yeah.
Kunde, yeah. Johnny Somali goes directly against Kunde, and I fucking hate. I hate Kunde. Like, when...
Like an old fart. Boomer.
Yeah.
So what's
Often-
one specific thing that he did to a Konde? Like, what did he do? Did he say something to them, or?
He said, what the fuck you gonna do about it? Free speech, nigga.
Oh, that's what he said to a Konde in Korea.
Xer, yes.
So you say that
And I am in full support of it.
So you say you support Johnny Somali's right to free speech, right? But then when you continue to hang out with him after he then gets violent with people and puts his hands on people or does break the law, you do realize you're no longer supporting his freedom of speech and you're just supporting his illegal behavior, right?
Right, but Johnny never actually put his hands on people.
He has threatened to rape, hasn't he?
Rape Mopsy as a joke. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he jokingly
sure, but-
threatened to rape somebody.
So how do we
that's a
how do we
joke.
how do we
But
know if
that's
it's a
like
joke
the
or not?
online, like, that's an online like streaming stuff, and I don't know if it's a threat because he said that you should get raped by Somalis.
No, didn't he say he was gonna get his homies to like rape her or something?
I don't believe so. No,
okay.
I do believe that he said that you should get raped by
Okay,
like
so
a gang of Somalis.
you're saying he wouldn't cross that line, right? Because he's not that kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean he's not a violent dude. Like
All right,
he's
and
really not. Like
yeah, and
I almost chimped out on him a couple times. You know, like
no,
but
we've heard you. Okay. So for me,
yelling.
when I see you get mad
Yeah.
at Johnny a lot. You try to drag him away from trouble. You yelled at him in the police car to stop drinking. It seems like you're trying to get him out of trouble, but he keeps fucking around, and you're always there to have his back. Like, I don't understand why you keep helping this guy who keeps defying your orders. Like, you're trying to keep him out of trouble, but he doesn't care, and you keep helping him. Like, I mean, do you feel sorry for him? Like, what is this? What is it for?
Do you feel respected?
I do really feel sorry for him too, because he didn't kill anyone, he didn't rape a child, or like he didn't like abuse kids, but like why is he the most hated person in the world just because he disrespected like Japan and supposedly now Korea? I mean,
Supposedly
it
now
makes no
Korea. Did
sense.
you not
Like,
see the?
Japanese and Koreans
Wait,
need to learn how to take jokes, you know?
wait. Did you wait? Supposedly Korea, but you didn't see what he did with the baby oil and the statue.
I have, but I honestly don't think that's a big of a deal.
But
I mean,
can you
I
see
don't
how it's
agree with it.
Yeah, if you don't think it's a big deal, but do you see how 50 million South Koreans might see it as a kind of a big deal? Even
Yes,
if you
sir.
don't.
I mean, I can definitely see it.
Right. So
However-
why do you keep protecting him and helping him?
Yeah, what if
Because
Johnny? What if you were in, let's say you were in Israel with Johnny, right? And he said the Holocaust was fake, and in Israel, just everywhere. Would you be like, what's the big deal? He's just saying words. Or would you be like, yeah, I'm getting the fuck away from this guy because I don't want to get killed?
I mean, basically, I would take care of my safety first, right?
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, like,
Right, but taken to the
helping
logical
Johnny
conclusion.
doesn't really endanger my
Right, but taken to the
safety and right now,
logical
he's
conclusion.
Didn't you just get your
He's
ass
not
beat
with
last?
me
Didn't
right
you
now,
get your
so-
ass beat though?
I did.
Right.
So how
to-
did he not put you in danger then?
He did, but that wasn't supposed to happen in a first world country like Korea. You know,
Why
that's
wouldn't it?
that would happen in Mexico, basically.
Okay, but it
No,
happened in
it would
Korea,
happen anywhere.
so
It would happen in America. Let's say you did something to offend Americans. You know, let's
Yeah.
say what would offend Americans?
Oh, fuck.
I mean, screw the Americans. There's people whose parents, whose grandparents, people that they know and loved who used to be comfort women. So the real correlation is, let's say your mom has some sort of disease, right? And
Right.
Johnny Somali then
Made fun of that disease.
to her face and
Yeah.
then laughed about it. Would you feel like you would have a right to get upset?
I would all right. So,
But it's just words, right?
if I loved my mom, I would probably get upset, but I would still support Johnny Somali's right to free speech. You know, like I'm a free speech absolutist. I believe free speech must be absolute, and it's the most fundamental right that a human being can have.
Is that because you lived in America for a few years, or you always felt that way?
I believe I always felt that way because America these days doesn't really practice. It preaches free speech in a fake manner, but it does not practice free speech.
Give me one example where America doesn't practice free speech.
Let's see. There are threat laws. There are they fine Alex Jones for exposing school shootings.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay, but that's not you. That wasn't the government who fined him, though.
That was court. The court actually fined Alex Jones.
Yeah, I think that.
And said that Alex Jones must compensate all these victims.
Right.
What victim?
But
but he wasn't criminally charged.
It was a civil case.
It was a civil case.
Yeah.
Yeah, but,
You're right,
but Hank, I do wonder what country on earth has the free speech that you support. Is there any country on earth that has this free speech that you love so much?
Zero, sir. The last and the only country to have my version of free speech was 1800s America.
Don't you think it'd be easier if you join like the rest of society and, instead of trying to, go for this late 1800s free speech thing that hasn't been around for a while? Wouldn't it be easier for you?
100%. 100% I would agree, but...
Yeah, but even in the late 1800s, if you threatened someone, you would get arrested.
Threat law didn't exist until like 1930s or so, actually.
Yeah, I think you could duel, actually.
Wow.
Oh, really?
You actually have to do something in
Still
action.
duel.
Okay, so you want to go back to the Wild West?
But
Right. If you wanted to go back to the Wild West,
I don't want to die.
People shot people for
insulting
them. Fighting words is a term for a reason in the Wild West.
Yeah. Hey, so where's Johnny now?
Well, a fighting word was not a legal term until 1910s, actually.
No, I understand
that's what he's
that,
saying. He's saying that if you're trying to avoid getting hurt, then living in that era would be antithetical
you might not.
to you.
The state might
because
not
you would die.
prosecute you, but people with guns and revolvers will fucking shoot you.
Right. It was more like societal than legal,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So where's Johnny now? What's he up to? Is he doing okay? His trial's next week, isn't it?
Yeah, Johnny's doing all right, but he's not with me right now. But
yeah, because everyone knows where you live.
Yeah. So my location's compromised, so I'm not gonna keep Johnny here,
Wait,
right,
so
obviously.
But do you still hang out with him? You have meals with him? You have pizza with him? You eat jjajangmyeon with him? What do you do with him?
I talked to him about a couple of legal cases because he is a witness to that aggravated assault, and he's a witness to stalking, all that,
Yeah. So do you eat with him or
I'm
what?
also a witness to those cases. No, not really.
Okay.
If I eat with him, that's gonna compromise his safety too.
So what's your take overall? Is he fucked in your opinion, or is he going to be okay?
Well, they're trying to make it political, and
Sure.
you know what happened to my case because they made my case political back in East Texas. I got fucked, right?
But that was from American government, not Korean government.
Yeah, but Korea has much, I would say, more lenient sentencing than the United States. So Johnny's probably not going to go to prison. He's going to.
Oh, you think he'll be let go?
Either let go or at most pay some fines. Because what did he do that was felonious? Not really. He hasn't done anything that would.
Well, the AI deepfake thing was,
That's a felony.
that's a felony. So.
Yeah, that wasn't sexual, and Johnny never created it.
Oh, that wasn't made by Johnny, huh?
No, that was just made by some random, random dude on like some app.
Hey, okay, so when you were in America and you got the guns, why did you lie about being a citizen?
Two reasons. I'll be very honest here, right?
Thank you.
Back then, I was an ultra nationalist, so I was afraid
For
that
wait,
I was
ultra
not
nationalist for America or for Korea?
America.
Okay.
So I was ashamed that I was not an United States citizen at that time. So I didn't want to reveal the fact that I am a foreign national, a foreign citizen. Like at all, whichever nation that might be. And second thing is on the ATF form 4473, it does say that if you are a non-citizen U.S. national, you should identify as a citizen. So, I mean, if I'm a permanent resident, right?
If you're a non-citizen U.S. national.
Yes.
You should say
you should
you're a
identify
citizen?
as a citizen.
So if you're a non-citizen U.S. citizen, that's weird.
Well, non-citizen U.S. national. There's a
What
classification.
was your status in America when you were in America? You were just permanent green card holder?
I am a permanent resident, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Right now, too, because I actually appealed.
So you got.
But that's not what it says on the form. It says, are you a U.S. citizen? If you are not a U.S. citizen, are you a foreign national legally permitted to reside in the U.S.?
Well, 8 USC section 1101 defines what a non-citizen U.S. national is. It says, like, even if you're not a U.S. citizen, you owe permanent allegiance to the United States.
But that doesn't say anything about saying you're a citizen.
Oh, so you have like a legal. You should have been an attorney, huh?
Probably not.
Wait, so you were born in Korea, correct?
Oh,
Correct,
actually, it says it right here. If you are a foreign national, you must also include your country of citizenship, which must be listed in the Department of State's U.S. treaties in force.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I didn't screw up. Like I definitely did screw up.
No, I'm just saying because you said that on the form, it said that if you're a foreign national, you should still mark that you're a citizen. It does not say that.
Well, no. Not if you're a foreign national. Like I thought if I was a permanent resident, permanent residents only.
Okay. Hey, so
But I did screw up.
Yeah, so a lot of people on the internet in Korea, they're saying that you're not Korean, that you're Chinese. Can you clear it up for us? Like, are your parents from China? What's going on there?
I am a Korean citizen, but I do have a lot of Chinese ancestry.
Like, you have mostly Han blood, or what are you talking about?
I believe Han, maybe Mongol. I believe, but mostly Han. Yeah.
Is it because you know your parents are from China or?
No, both of my parents are from Korea. My ancestors are from China.
Well, okay. It wasn't your grandpa like Attorney General in Korea? Wasn't he like a really big position there?
Yes, 23rd Attorney General in South Korea. That's been doxxed. Yeah.
Do you still talk to him?
Huh?
Do you still talk to him?
Oh, not really. So the reason why I'm pissed at my grandfather is my dad was abusive as hell, right?
Yeah.
Being an attorney general, he should know that upon turning age 14, I have right to go to the court and pick which side of my parents that I want to live in.
Yeah.
Whether it be maternal side since they're divorced. But to protect my mom from my dad's either physical or financial or like reputational retaliation, my grandfather purposely did not inform me of that law. That's why I got kicked back and forth between my mom and my dad and got abused by my dad and all that.
How are you abused? Like what's some of the horrible abuse that you went through that I'm sure
beat me with golf club, beat me with a baseball bat, confined me to a room for like days.
This was in Korea or was this in America?
Both. In America, it was done by my dad's older brother, who was a total
Wait. So
like psycho piece of shit. But
what
in
age
Korea,
did
it was
you
done by
age did you move to the what age did you move to the United States?
10.
10?
11,
Oh.
10, 11, yeah.
Yeah, and you
Wait.
lived in La Crescenta, right?
So
You
then
lived in
if you were
LA.
10 or 11 in America, what does the AG in Korea have to do with the laws in America? Because didn't they get separated when you were 14, you said? So then wouldn't you have been in America?
Negative, sir. They were divorced when I was 2. So I went to America
10.
with my mom first.
Oh, and then
but-
you bounce back and
Yeah.
forth
But
because
it's
you,
the question still remains:
Yeah.
if your grandfather was an attorney general in Korea, then how would he know about the laws in America to inform you?
Because when I was living in Korea and attending an international school, right? My grandfather had duty to inform me of that particular.
Yeah, but you're talking about the 14-year-old law in America, right? Where once you're 14, you're allowed to choose which which parent you want to live with,
or is that
existed in Korea too?
Is that a same law in Korea?
Affirmative, sir. Yes.
Oh, okay.
It exists both in
So
America
what
and
happened
in
is
Korea.
at age 10, 11, you came to America with your mom, but then you had to bounce back and forth to Korea because you didn't know about this law, and you had to go back to live with your dad for a little bit, and then back and forth. Is that what's going on? Like,
Well, I want to say back and forth to Korea, just like back and forth between my mom living with my mom's side, dad's side, because.
but your
they
dad's
never
side
told
was
me.
in Korea and your mom's side was in America, right?
My uncle was in California.
Your dad's brother was in California, though. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom was in New York.
Were you sexually abused?
I mean,
Negative, sir. I was not sexually abused.
Because I read stuff that you
forward
were
question.
sexually abused in high school or something a long time ago.
Oh no. That's a different story. I gotta tell you. I wasn't abused. I was kind of groomed.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So what happened?
Groomed
not
for
going
what
to-
exactly?
I'm not going to reveal her name, but it was a white American woman living in Korea at that time.
And
Yeah.
how old were
I was
you?
17. She was 37, and yeah, she took my virginity both front and back.
She
Yeah.
used a device on you.
You use a strap-on dildo to
Okay, we
penetrate my anus.
might not have needed such detail, but
Did you like it though?
At that time, no, but it did turn me. I believe it did turn me bisexual.
Yeah, because you are bi. You told me that you hook up with dudes or do things for them sometimes, right?
Well, I would say like this. My price is 3,000 for sucky sucky and 10,000 for fucky fucky.
10,000 won.
Huh?
10,000 won, not dollars.
Dollars.
Oh, $10,000.
Yeah, but
You're joking,
I
right?
do.
yeah, this is.
I'm not.
You're not. Okay.
Wait, I'm
I'd actually,
confused.
I would actually do that, but I do like femboys.
You like femboys. What's an example of a famous femboy? Because I don't know what that means.
Well, I don't know like any like femboy that's like a celebrity, but if you can Google like femboy, like there's a definite difference between a femboy and a tranny. Trannies take
what's your
pills, right?
What's your definition of a femboy then?
So, femboy's like a feminine boy, like femininely dressed boy and stuff, but he doesn't take like pills to become like tranny. But femboys look prettier than girls, so
But
I mean,
but isn't that like bordering on pedophilia?
huh?
Isn't that bordering
I
on
don't think
pedophilia?
they're underage. I think they're just called.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
they're not
boy-
underage.
They're just called boys. They're
Yeah.
not actually.
So a
boys.
white woman turned you bi, you think?
Yes, a 37-year-old woman when I was 17 turned me bi. Yes.
Yeah, so she was a teacher in Korea, but she moved back to the U.S., and then that's when it happened in the U.S.
No, that happened in Korea, but it was perfectly legal because Korean age of consent is 16.
Okay, all right.
But
And you were what?
Well, yeah,
17?
Yeah, he was 17.
Wow.
I was 17, yeah, but in terms of like femboys are actually very popular among women, and most femboys are straight. So I just gotta find a bi one, you know.
So currently, you're trying to come back to the United States. Is that correct? You're trying to appeal your case.
Negative, sir. I actually plan to move to China.
Oh,
Shanghai.
And do you think that they will accept you with open arms? It's kind of a difficult process to. I mean, I've looked into it. I'm also curious as well, but isn't it a difficult process to get naturalized there?
Open arms, I don't think so. But if you have an engineering degree or like a science degree, then it's much
so
easier.
You are an engineer, or you have an engineering degree.
Yes, sir. I am pursuing. I'm going to pursue masters of engineering.
I see.
Okay, great. Hey, so this has been a pretty peaceful discussion.
Yes, sir.
It was kind of a little weird in the beginning because you were walking around and distracted, but after the trial, can you tell us more about the Johnny stuff? And where's Gino right now? Is he back in America?
Yeah, Gino is in Japan, and yeah,
he's in Japan.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know.
If he did come back to Korea, do you think he would be in trouble with the authorities?
Probably not. I mean, Gino didn't really do anything, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, you were there when.
Like mostly Johnny.
So when I saw the video where Gino was there, and you were standing next to him, and Gino was saying like, "Can I eat your pee?" and like making the la 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 face, and you were laughing at that, right? You think so? That's funny to you, right?
That is actually absolutely funny because most people think that's illegal. That's actually not illegal in South Korea.
No, forget the legal thing. The women don't want to be harassed like that. Or do you think it's funny that they get offended by that?
Sure, but like I think it's funny because they're in a club street and they should expect to get sexualized like that, but they get offended like that. I mean, I personally wouldn't do it, but
but
free speech.
But don't you think just like you should expect to get jumped if you're hanging around Johnny and like that? Shouldn't you also expect that? It shouldn't be a surprise, right?
To get jumped over that? No, I don't think so.
I mean, whether you agree with it or not, you can't.
Right. I mean,
expect it.
If you were in the fucking Wild West and you started doing this type of shit, you would just get shot. And
I have a question.
I mean,
how does grooming fit into free speech? Because all she did was just use words, right? And she has a right to use your words.
Well, she had my fully informed consent to.
Yeah, I don't think he regrets that.
All right. Well, anyway, Hank, thanks for doing this interview with us. Let's do a more.
I'm actually curious. Do you have a take on the recent happenings about in this past week in Korea? Because you seem to be against the Gen X Koreans, so you must be against like Korean people in general or whatever. Big things happened this week, I'm sure, as you're aware. Do you have any thoughts about Yoon Suk-yeol and what's going on there?
Well, yeah. Like, I'm not against Koreans, I'm just against like Korean politicians.
Sure. But yeah,
I'm against like older Korean culture.
Right. So then we end the. Do you have right? Okay. So
then I like to tell you one more thing, but on the Korean president. He's saying that he did it to investigate election fraud. If he did, he's the hero. I mean, if that's true, right. He's a hero.
But I guess I'm just like asking what you believe. What do you believe?
At this point, I don't have any evidences to believe one way or the other. I don't want to make a blank statement and I'm wrong later. But I do believe that. If it's false, then all right. First of all, my favorite president is Chun Doo-hwan.
Okay, all right. Okay. You know what? All right. Before we open up that whole
can of worms,
let's save that for next time because we're a little bit over now. We are going to get into why you like Chun Doo-hwan, but we'll talk about that next time. Okay. And
yes, sir.
Try to get Johnny on with you next time because we want to ask him some questions too. Okay.
That
next
time. I mean, that can happen when all of my legal cases are like
sure
pretty much settled. It's going to be like
whatever,
a couple months,
Okay, sounds
take.
good. All right, then.
Yes, sir.
Let us know when that
Let me
happens.
tell you one more thing.
Yeah.
You know, like when like those like Korean actors, they always say like, "Ya 인사 안 해?"
Right.
Which means like, why aren't you aren't you like bowing down to me?
Yeah, but I inza anyway.
Greeting you.
I tell them, "니마 비 차오니마 니마 쓰러."
Okay.
None of us are Chinese,
Nice.
but
They deserve
what does that mean? What does that
It's
mean?
2024. Yeah, hey.
Nima
Korea
means
is
your
one of the
mom,
most
right?
Americanized countries in the world.
Right.
None of that bowing down shit. I fist bump. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, you know, I'll fist bump you, but I bow to others. It's not a big deal. It's just,
Yeah.
you know, but
Cultural.
okay.
Just different types of handshakes.
All right, Hank. Nice fist.
Fist bump.
Hey, oh yeah, fist bump, buddy. Or not buddy, but 동생. Hey, you have a good time at the gym, okay? We'll talk again next time and get more information, okay?
You too, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, peace.
Appreciate it.
All right. All right, and that was it with Hank Yu. He finally joined. It was kind of odd. It wasn't crazy, but it was kind of crazy.
strange.
It was quiet crazy.
It was quite crazy.
I don't know. He's a character.
I mean, I did look him up. It does look like he spent time in a mental institution.
Yeah, I
from
mean, that
2013.
conversation was absolutely mind-numbing.
So, yeah, we got into Syria, United Healthcare, and Hank Yu.
But all points of view
All points of view from every angle, including those angles, and
for the issues that we all
kind of care about sometimes.
But does anyone care about it? Let us know.
Hey, those videos get a lot of hits too, right? Hank Yu and all that. All right, but anyway,
We're just giving the people what they want.
yeah, that's it for today.
Who wants this?
The algorithm.
We'll see you guys next time on Ktown Social Club. All
I don't know who
right.
this Al Gore rhythm is.
Al
Fuck
Gore.
that guy.
Who, Hank?
No, Al
Oh,
Gore
Al
rhythm.
Go Rhythm. Yeah, right.